So we're going to move ahead and talk about the other news that is going on in the NBA. And I think with the current situation of Jimmy Butler, Jimmy is suspended indefinitely. And I think the biggest thing is that him being suspended indefinitely means that they are more than willing to make him be moved. I don't know why that came off weird, but what I'm trying to say is that they just trying to get this guy off the roster. They want him out of town. And I really think that he's somebody that's going to go ahead and get sold for cheaper than what we think. I don't think there's going to be as many picks. I think picks have so much value. And the reason I bring this is Minnesota has interest in Jimmy, and Jimmy has interest in going to Minnesota. So with that being said, I think if it is true that there's a reunion going to be there and that the Heat have interest in Julius Randle, this would be a rather easy but hard trade to do, because if you look at the numbers, it's going to have to include either Naz Reid or a combination of Mike Conley and bottom of the roster salary, or Dante DiVincenzo. And it's very interesting to look at, because I personally think when you look at the Jimmy Butler situation, I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. Always look at the glass half full instead of half empty. But he tanked his value by, it wasn't the holding out of trade, but it was just the behavior and just driving the wedge between the team and management, it seems. And he's a guy who's had a good season, 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists through 25 games, about a steal a night on 54% from the field and 36% from three. And he gets to the free throw line. Yeah, he's not really taking threes anymore, about like 1.5 a game. And Julius Randle, on paper, the stats aren't terrible. 19 points in 33 minutes a night, shooting 46% from the field, and from three, shooting about 33% on 5 attempts a night, and dishing out 4.5 assists with almost a steal a game and 7.5 rebounds. So he's someone that is producing, but it's not a good fit out there. Yeah, it's gotten better over the stretches of game. Same thing with Dante DiVincenzo. He's looking really well. But with Jimmy looking for another contract and making a fuss and refusing to play ball unless the new team offers him an extension, I think a general manager of any team would either look at this as a rental or just try to take away whatever leverage the Heat have. And that's where you see Tim Conley of the Minnesota Timberwolves, a guy who's willing to wheel and deal, maybe actually be looking at a swap or some sort of deal of Julius Randle for Jimmy Butler. And again, the deal would have to be Joe Ingles, Dante DiVincenzo, and Julius Randle to do the deal the easiest way. The easiest way would actually probably be Naz Reid and Julius Randle, but I don't think anybody would want to do that. It's just really hard to get that deal done. But as we said, Jimmy Butler would be a better fit than Julius Randle. Julius Randle, in theory, would fit next to Bam Adebayo and Khalil Ware. Obviously not at the same time. That's one just to think about. I think it's interesting. I think that's just people floating things out to float things out, because why would the Timberwolves, even though this season hasn't gone according to plan, it's looked better as of late, give up that many players for Jimmy, who may or may not stay? I think that's the biggest thing. And yeah, I think that's my whole gripe with that one. So let's talk about the next team that potentially could be in these Jimmy Butler sweepstakes. Now, let me respond to some of these comments. What's up, guys? Yeah, Bradley Beal really is Slim Island with that no trade clause. And yeah, I haven't been going live in a while due to the fact that I'm doing my PhD. I'm in my second semester. I'm also being a teacher assistant, and